I was doing this like simple flying around with a 3-part spacecraft. And I think I have a 3-part spacecraft which will get me everywhere, although I have staged everything in the right places. So this is what the plan is. This is how we start. Have I watched Geostorm yet? I have not watched Geostorm because it's in the movie theaters, and I, of course, don't get many chances to get out. And thank you to Anna Gamer, who has just subscribed with Twitch Prime. I can't guarantee I will sing for everyone that subscribes, but I could also threaten to sing if people don't, so I don't know. An insanely Kerbal movie. So you want to see something that's insanely Kerbal? 3 parts. You know what? Actually, I'm going to go and tweak this thing. Let's revert flight to vehicle assembly. Just give me 1 second. Now, note the delta V on this thing. 3297. It is really close to not working. Oh, yeah, totally flies. I'm going to point this upwards. Now this is one of these things that's going to be hard to control early on because it's going to be all about stability, and I'm going to actually throttle back a bit, keep my thrust to weight ratio below around about 2 when I'm in this thick lower atmosphere. So the idea is this 3-part spacecraft I'm going to try and take to every single planet. Now obviously last week I built a more complicated thing. It had landing legs, it had more fuel tanks, but I think I have realized, thanks to stuff, that I'm going to be able to do this. So I'm going to go with this until I get it to work. And then we're going to be using a lot of saving and reloading because there's a lot of very fine maneuvering, the very limited windows for messing things up, let's say. And if I don't make it work, I may end up having to try again. Okay, here we go, and throttle. That'll get me there, 100%. So I think I'm going to come in just shy, but if it's close enough, then... Oh, 69! How close is that? Okay, time for the manly maneuver. That maneuver. Just get yourself into orbit. Yeah, I'm just going to do that. So there we go. I would think it's the camera mode, but I'm not sure what's going on with that. Okay, let's turn off the RCS for a sec. You know, he's not rotating with the camera for some reason. I must have hit some button that has changed this and I'm not used to it, but whatever. This will get us to a periaps of just over 70 kilometers. So we are totally there. So we've got 0 fuel, we're in orbit, and now we're going to grab and then we're going to board. Okay, F5. That is my first F5. Now, we have a spacecraft in orbit, which will have to intercept. They have the Kerbin depot. Switch to this. This is going to take some... What do you mean that's kind of cheating? Yes, Jeb totally counts as a part. Getting pretty close. Oh, yes. Oh, baby. Okay, and my periaps here is 72, so we'll skim along by the atmosphere, and that should get us really close to the target. Excellent. Excellent work. Would ethanol in LOX be better or worse specific impulse than kerosene in LOX? Yeah, ethanol definitely is worse because it has lower energy. However, to be clear, there's a real art to fuel mixtures. For example, you know what stoichiometric mixtures is, where you basically have a perfect fuel oxidizer mixture so that you burn it all. Perfect mixtures don't always produce the best specific impulse, right? So here we go. Where's the target? I should probably... Ah, there it is, there. Okay, there we go. Fine. Would propane and LOX give specific impulse somewhere between of RP? Yeah, I mean, generally the more carbon you add, the lower the specific impulse. But pure hydrogen is better. The thing is, I don't think... like, basically, if you think about it, count the number of hydrogens and count the number of carbons, right? So, you know, methane has 4 carbons for every... Sorry, 1 carbon for every 4 hydrogen, right? Oh, shoot. Got to point towards the target. I didn't notice I was doing that. Tonight's challenge is to help this guy and get him everywhere he needs to go. If you really need to combust something, chlorine trifluoride is a good option. Yeah, you know what? I was writing up something about nuclear weapons, and I hadn't realized there was an actual use for chlorine trifluoride. It's used in fuel reprocessing to extract uranium from uranium, like to turn, uranium metal into uranium hexafluoride, which is of course used for enrichment, right? Normally when you get like yellow cake uranium oxide, you use a little more complicated process to create your uranium hexafluoride. The reason you use uranium hexafluoride in nuclear fuel enrichment is because it can be turned into a gas at about 50 degrees centigrade. So that means that at reasonable temperatures for work, you can have a liquid version. A gas version. When you're, when you want to do the separation, the enrichment, it's good to have it in a gas, but it's also good to have it in a gas that's as cold as possible. Yeah, well, Lifter has its own set of problems that Lifter fans keep forgetting, let's say. It is far from a solved problem, let's just say. I'm quick saving right now, incidentally. I'm actually wondering how well the... I'm curious, actually, at how well the... Whatchamacallit? I've now forgotten what I was going to say. Darn it. There we go. Okay. Let's aim towards the target. So I just want to hit it with the claw, right? Lifter is liquid. If you see my Interstellar Quest series, I use lifters quite a lot. So lifters are liquid fluorine thorium... liquid fluorine thorium reactor. Basically, it's you create a salt, right, of thorium fluoride, and you use that to perform your reactions. Okay, and you're here. So yeah, by using the claw means that I can avoid having to have a docking adapter on this spacecraft. Okay, here we go. Is it going to be fast enough for the dock? Yes! Okay, so now we have this captured, and I'm not going to use the engine of these while they're docked, right? I'm just going to transfer fuel across, right? So now this thing will have enough fuel to get up to Minmus to start landing, right? Am I going to get Battlefront 2? I mean, I got Battlefront, that one, but I don't play it. Orion plays it. I'm not going to get it when it comes out, put it that way. I mean, if EA wants to send me it, then great, I'll maybe cover it, but I'm not going to go out of my way to get this. Okay, we're going to release this. Now we have this thing in space. Let's check the other thing. They're both in a stable orbit. So this thing now needs to plot course for Minmus. And we're going to Minmus first because we're going to land on it, right? Bye-bye. Do you think the guys at Star Citizen could be convinced to put KSP-like or better orbital mechanics? So, Elite Dangerous already has working orbital mechanics. You can actually put a spacecraft... Oh, wow, look, I'm going to get 2 encounters. I'm actually going to fly by the moon and then fly by... I hadn't even noticed that. Fly by moon. Oh, no, wait. We're going to fly by this, and then we're going to swing back and then fly by the moon if we don't stop there. That's kind of cool. Now, how much thrust do I need to have here? Oh yeah, totally. If I do like 50% thrust, we'll manage it. And the good news is that thing there is not going to crash into me, because that can always be a problem. I think that is as close as I'm going to get. Because if I tweak that anymore, I am almost certainly going to be in trouble. Okay, warp to there. 6 meters per second. So, like, you see that what I've done is I've deliberately put the engine deep inside so I don't need the landing gear. I just need to touch down very gently. Oh, 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 oh. Just touch down. Dog shadows. There we go. You see, that's going to touch down there. I'm going to turn off this and let Lucky out. Anyway, let's get ourselves into orbit here. Yeah, look at this tiny thrust here. So I'm just putting this here. That tiny frustrum, the tilty. I thought you said, I was very concerned with what you said there, that tilty frustrum. I thought you were saying it looked like some piece of anatomy that we don't, you know. Oh, and I've totally I don't know, my mouse seems to be overly sensitive right now. I'm completely overdoing this. You notice that I was actually in a retrograde trajectory there? That's how hardcore that was going to be. That's, once again, overclocked it. I think somebody must have adjusted my mouse settings, because... Oh, man. Now, here's something I just got to realize. Okay, so that's a pretty good maneuver. I'm totally going to take that. In the equatorial plane, we enter, and then we leave, and most importantly, we're going in the same direction as our fuel depot, which I've carefully placed in orbit around the moon. So I'm going to take it, and we're going to F5 that, and then we're going to get ourselves there. Notice how we are actually using electric charge here. That's worth noting. Is it Lucky a pupper or a doggo? He was a pupper, but now he's a doggo. He used to be a puppy, but now he is a doggy, obviously. We've never known him as a puppy, let's be clear. Right? We never knew Lucky as a puppy. Okay, one. You can do the thrust as low as possible so we hit the thing exactly. Okay, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. Oh, that looks pretty close. Let's see how close we are to our target. That's pretty good. I think that's a pretty good orbit. What do you think? So, warp to next maneuver. Here we go. Looking for the moon. Where's the moon? There's the moon. Da 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 da. Maneuver. Da 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 da. Retrograde. So yeah, 1300. That gives me 200 meters per second to play with, right? So that should be more than enough. Because the orbital velocity is about 550, if I remember correctly. I may not have remembered correctly. I could have doomed myself. But, you know, whatever. We're going to make this happen. There we go. Excellent. Brilliant landing there. Let's hope it doesn't fall over. Because it wouldn't be the first time that the things have fallen over, let's face it. Now, the thing, I should probably... Oh, look, that thing is in a really good position if I just launch into orbit right now. So let's do that. How fast am I? How much delta? I have 129 meters per second. Totally able to do this. So actually, that does mean that that thing is going to be slightly behind me. 58 meters per second. Let's just circularize there to make sure, right? The numbers are getting small. Smaller faster than I imagined. Oh, that's pretty good. It's a good thing I didn't try to get up to that thing's orbit. So that thing's going to have to come down to meet. Okay. Thank goodness. That was starting to look embarrassing. Yeah, so they one of the things they said about metallic hydrogen is they saw that the interior of the diamond anvil went from being like having a dielectric to basically being reflective, right? So that's what you would expect if the hydrogen suddenly condensed into a crystalline metallic state. The kind of pressure you're talking about is beyond the pressure at the core of the Earth. You're talking about pressures at the core of Jupiter. And there is a team that has successfully made metallic deuterium, right, using a shock process. That is a dynamic process rather than a static process. Okay, 15 minutes away. Set maneuver, and then we'll make that burn, and we'll be there. I insist that Charon is not a moon of Pluto. Pluto and Charon are a dwarf double planet that share 4 moons. I would agree with you, Silent Searchlight. You need to go to the JPL open house. Well, they just had a JPL open house. Apparently, it is insanely busy. It was, like, so insanely busy that parents were crossing over rattlesnake-infested terrain with their children. Look at us, we got our encounter. Okay, can we put engines in the ISS? The ISS already has engines. Next. Yeah, the ISS already has engines because it needs to use them to stay in orbit. Okay, so next. Yeah, I think I'm gonna skip through the atmosphere for aerobraking. So I'm just gonna set that up now. 25 kilometers, that's a good aerobrake altitude. What do you think? Okay. This should be okay. See, we're aerodynamically stable. And we're already actually on our way out. And then we'll use the... we'll watch this. We'll let this like a... We'll adjust it afterwards, right? There we go. So we'll see how much we get from the atmosphere now. So that's just aerobraking, atmospheric braking that's doing this. Could a kinetic orbital weapon work, like the Spear of God? Are you talking about the rod from the gods? You can't just drop from orbit. The funny thing is, people always get this wrong. You actually retard the velocity and it falls down. You were a big Orbiter Sim guy back in 2006. That is really old school, because now it's like Orbiter 2016, right? So yeah, if you look at my video about guns in space, you will find out everything you possibly needed to know, including the crazy paper by the guy from the Air Force, which has an amazing title. Yeah, the Soyuz survival gun is something fantastic. I'm just going to say that. Would a large enough fusion reactor be considered a WMD? Only if you can make it explode, and I don't think there's a way to make it explode. Does SpaceX have plans for a moon base? No, they don't have plans for any base as far as I can tell right now. They have plans for a rocket that could get there, but have yet to actually put together a base design. So let's be clear about this. SpaceX has been about the transport. They haven't been about solving the actual logistics of making a base that works on the surface. Yeah, I mean, so SpaceX definitely have these spacecraft which would be great for building things, but they don't have any designs for anything built right now. 3 meters per second, bit of a slope, but we're gonna get here and we're gonna have 1600 meters per second. So we'll get into Duna orbit and then we'll probably refuel again. That's what we're gonna do. Fire those engines again. 90 degrees. Yeah, 40k fans see Event Horizon as a sort of early prequel to the overall setting. It is so true. But they were certainly never... It was never intended like that. But I like Event Horizon. I like the music. Like, that's one of the cooler things about it. Event Horizon had many, many things to recommend it, and many, many reasons why it was bad. But I don't care. I dig it. Okay, so that's me in orbit. That's where we have to leave it for tonight, and I will continue this because I see this as something to do from one week to the next. A grand proposal, right? So far, we've got to 3 of these places, and we've got many, many more places. Um,